Hello, everyone, and welcome to another congregation at the Church of Disney Reel to Reel. A deep, deep, deep delve into the texts of the Disney animated canon. I am your high priest, Wyatt. And joining me today is Queen Woman Frankie Sparks from the podcast Shoot the Flick.
Queen woman.
Yes.
Love that for me. Oh man. What did we do?
I don't
What
know.
did we do?
Why did we do this to ourselves?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna state up front that with every episode up to this point, I have written up countless pages of notes. That didn't happen this time.
I mean, I wrote notes, but I just felt like at a certain point I'm like, I'll remember this till the day I die. Like I don't need to write this down. Fucking Jesus Christ.
It'll be a memory that'll live in your heart forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God.
Well, what did we watch? Well, we watched a little movie from the Asylum called Sunday School Musical, released in 2008.
I think like 3 days before High School Musical 3 was released, which is hilarious.
Correct. And, yeah, I just. The Asylum is a company that's known for making a lot of, like, knockoff movies.
Correct.
In response to a lot of trends in the industry. In fact, I found on their filmography list that they are doing a ripoff of the Snow White remake called Snow White and the Seven Samurai.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yep,
no, that makes sense to me. I don't.
of course. Well, actually,
Jesus. All
there
right.
was a news story about like 10 or so years ago about like how Disney was going to do this like Seven Samurai type movie based around Snow White, but I guess the Asylum's taking them up on that. So
Okay. Alrighty. I'm sure that's gonna work out great. And not
totally.
offensive in any way
Probably
to
not.
any cultures or cinema lovers.
Nope. What do you think overall? What do you think?
I mean, God. I mean, it's bad, obviously, but like that's like saying the sky is blue. Um, it. I mean, I think it was like an hour and a half long, and it felt like I was sitting there for like at least 2.5 hours. And for a musical, I mean, musical's in the name, and there's really not a lot of songs. It's a lot of just talking and
Mm-hmm.
just nonsense. But there are certain elements when you think of it as a like this is a response or a yeah, I guess a response to High School Musical and like wanting to cash in on that. So there's a lot of similarities or like mirrors to the High School Musical franchise, and it's interesting how they chose to do that in certain places.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna talk about it.
I still can't figure out who the Chad is.
Oh, I thought it was the nerdy white guy that plays harmonica. But then also it is kind of his other friend from the
Yeah.
first school that's just like, hey, come on, like let's beatbox really terribly. And yeah, I don't know. There's many Chads. There's like a kind of an amalgamation of Sharpay and Ryan, and then there's just another person that is, I guess, Sharpay. I don't know. It's confusing. But it's just nobody is anybody important. That's what's really we should take home from this. Nobody
No.
matters.
No. Although I think Kelsey made it out all right.
Oh my god, there was one guy. There was one point I don't remember because my husband who does Shoot the Flick with me, Scott, he watched this movie with me because I didn't want to watch it by myself, and I tortured him and made him watch it with me. And at one point, they're singing and dancing, and somebody's on the piano. And Scott's like, "Who's on the piano?" I'm like, "Oh, Kelsey, obviously." She was the only carryover. She's the through line for the whole high
Yeah.
school / Sunday school musical franchise.
Yeah, because when I watched that movie, I'm like, you know who the most important character is? The lesbian nerd girl who's still in the closet playing piano.
Oh my god. I think they were trying to make her like one of the kids too, like the shy kid. I was like, is this an attempt at Kelsey? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's weird.
It was confusing and weird and stupid. And why? Why, oh, why does this exist?
Yeah, for us to view with our eyeballs in the year 2024.
Mm. In your defense, making me watch this, I made you watch Smart House on our show.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're even now. If
Yeah.
anything, I owe you an extra little fucking kick in the ass for this.
When will we start doing good movies again?
Yeah, we should. When are we gonna do High School Musical 2? Let's do that. I want to do that.
We'll do that later, but then you also owe me the Brandy Cinderella.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we'll space it out.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I am going into this on autopilot. So if you would be willing to lead us through the plot as you did on Beauty and the Beast.
I see. I knew you were gonna do this, and I'm like, should I write more like plot notes because he's just gonna make me do the plot? And I'm like, no, fuck it, I can't do it. But yeah, see, you're gonna do this. But you know what? It's funnier this way. I feel like because now I have to like figure out what or like try to remember what happened. And I can't even pull up like a Wikipedia page because
No,
it
you
has
can't.
no Wikipedia page. You fucker. Anyway, okay, so what's hilarious about this, I mean, among many other things, when we started watching the movie, I don't know how you, like, on what platform you watched the movie.
YouTube.
Okay, I watched it on Tubi, and, like, I don't know if you had the same experience. The movie, like, tried to explode itself, like, in the beginning. Like, you know, like, on TV, like, in the old days, well, you don't because you're 5 years old, but they have, like, the rainbow bars, and it, like, beeps, like, it had that in the beginning. And I was like, oh my god, is the universe trying to stop us from watching this? So the rip or whatever that they use on Tubi was trying to kill itself. But eventually we got to the start of the movie. And we start off with this guy, Zachary, which I didn't realize that was his name for the first like 20 minutes. The main character, this Troy Bolton character, is
Yeah.
named Zachary. And I was like, you fucking assholes. He's just so obviously trying to be, and this kid wants to be Zac Efron so badly. It's really funny. But he starts off rapping and singing This Little Light of Mine, and he's going to this choir competition, this regional choir competition or something with his church.
Just like the regional
And
basketball game.
right. Yeah, the championship game. Okay. Um
Also, he's got dreams. He's got goals.
he's
And
got
pretty soon they're
dreams.
all gonna be mine.
This fucker wants to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, Zac Efron, just everyone who's any. I mean, they clearly banked on this kid a lot because he has most of the songs, and he's
Mhm.
not bad or anything. But he's like diet Corbin Blue looking guy, and he's just he's
L-
always wearing striped non-brand shirts with baggy
Yeah.
pants, and he's just living the dream of being a choir kid.
Yeah, just to show some respect, because some of these actors, it's like I can't tell if they are being really earnest about the project or if they know it's bad and they're just like owning it. But
Mm-hmm.
this guy, his name is Chris Chapman, and
Okay.
he's like an aspiring musician dude in real life. He has actually performed with Lin Manuel Miranda on one occasion.
Oh wow. Okay. I just pulled that out of my ass. But yeah, no, I mean he's not bad. There are some singers in here that are bad.
Yeah,
But he's not
yeah.
bad.
No, he was probably the best.
Yeah. And also what's funny too is like, have you ever seen Sister Act 2?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Okay. I used to watch that a lot growing up. And
Is
if
that
you
the
haven't
one
seen
where at the end where they're performing the song, but they're all in like those really ugly like baseball
90s,
caps
very
and
90s
overalls?
clothes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it basically just a quick, it's Sister Act with a bunch of, yeah. It's Sister Act, but with a bunch of like inner city youths, and Whoopi Goldberg is you know teaching them the value of music and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lauren Hill's in it, and it's a great fucking movie. But
Yeah.
this gave me a lot of Sister Act 2 vibes, for a lot of reasons. But the first one starts out in here because it's like they do this regional quote unquote choir competition, and apparently there's only 3 choirs in this regional choir competition. It's the main guy Zach's choir, it's really good, and like
Uh-huh.
takes this little line of mine and like does a little spin on it, and they do like dancing and blah blah blah. They're so hip. And then you have Gabriella, I mean Savannah's choir.
I mean Sharpays.
Right. It's they're all everybody pretty much. But and her choir goes up there from some other fucking school, and they're all white. All these kids in the shitty choir are white. And all the kids in the good choir, not all of them are white, but most of them, I mean not all of them are minorities, but most of them are minorities. So like are we making a
Wait.
statement on that? I don't know. But
Wait. Is it the Crossroads Choir or
the
Hawthorne?
Crossroads choir is that the bad one or the good one? I
I th-
forget.
I can't remember.
Who could say? Zach's choir is good and
Wait.
Savannah's choir is bad.
I'm checking the credits, and it looks like the Hawthorne choir it has a lot more diverse people
Yes,
in the
Hawthorne
cast.
is
So
Zach's
Crossroads.
choir.
But I want to bring that up because the Crossroads choir has 2 of the Lynch brothers in it.
I don't know who that is.
You know Ross Lynch?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, his brothers, they form the band R5, and 2 of them are in this movie in the
Okay.
choir.
Okay. That makes sense. The shitty choir goes up there, and it's Savannah is our Gabriella substitute for the movie, and
Yeah.
she's up there. She is They purport her to be a good singer amongst a flock of shitty singers. She's not really that good. I'm sorry. She was off pitch most of the time when she opened her mouth. I was like, God,
Yeah,
my ears.
what you're saying is Candace Lakota is not a good singer.
No, she was rough. And she was rough in her acting too. They gave her some real emotional shit that
We'll talk about one.
we'll talk about it. I have so much. Okay. So much to say. But yeah, so the shitty choir is shitty. And then this like choir, I guess the director of the competition is like, well, the third choir is sick with food poisoning because egg salad. Okay. That's supposed to be funny, I guess. So then they're like, okay, well, 2 people have to go through to the states competition. So I guess you 2 are it. And it's like, so you had a regional choir competition. Only 3 choirs were in it, and 2 go through. That's like, I don't know. It's silly.
It's real shady. Yeah.
It's silly and shady and whatever. But so we've established the situation with the choirs. The shitty choir and the good choir are in it together. And like they also establish like throughout the movie that like the Hawthorne choir, that the Hawthorne's Zach's choir, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they establish that they're also attached to a church that has like no money and is going under. And the
Yeah.
other choir is the shitty choir with all the white kids, and they are attached to like I guess a school, a Sunday school, even though they go to school every day. I don't know. I'm not religious. I don't know how that works.
In these weird
But
like bungalows, like
it was weird. But they're like it's implied that they have more money because they're
yeah.
white.
Yeah.
Which like is fine. I mean, that's I'm not mad at that, but it just seemed like they were trying to be subtle about it and like make a statement like racially and be subtle, and they weren't being subtle at all. But that's like everything in this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it's like High School Musical. It's like the conflict comes from all these different cliques coming together.
Right. Stick
And
to
in
the
the end,
status quo and all that.
yeah.
And
But
that's not
now,
what this is at all.
no,
Like I thought that
they're
it was gonna be like a Romeo Juliet type of situation,
yeah,
like in High School Musical, where like, oh, she's in the other choir and he's in the like they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
falling in love, but they're in different choirs and shit. That's not
But
what this is.
but this is taking like a weird socioeconomic bent.
Yeah, it's weird. I
I
don't
don't.
know. It's they in this movie, but it's multiple times in this movie they're trying to do something that is way beyond their pay grade, and it's like
Yeah.
can't you can't do that. I'm so
No.
sorry to report. You can't.
Especially since both of those movies came out during the recession.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I recognized all the Empire waist blouses and
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean that's one thing they got right, like the fashion statements of like, not even like real 2008, but just like Disney Channel 2008.
like Old Navy 2008.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, yeah. Um but then another thing you notice in this movie and also happens a lot, just technically, the sounds and the music, it's all fucked. And in a musical, you don't want that, but it is like none of the whenever they're singing, it doesn't match their lips. There's one point where one choir performs and then you see people clapping but no sound. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? What is happening? So that happens and it's bad.
Literally everyone in every division knows they're producing a piece of shit and they don't care.
But I literally wrote in my notes, I was like, oh, this is going to be like Step Up, but with Jesus. Like, I really thought that, like, we were going to have, like the hip guy from the cool choir and, like, the straight lace girl from the shitty, rich choir. And they're going to fall in love. And it's like, no.
No.
They also have no, I mean, say what you want about High School Musical, right? And, like, obviously the songs in High School Musical are better than the ones in this. But,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's also something to be said about the chemistry. Like Zac
Yeah.
Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, whatever you want to say about the movies in general, they had chemistry. And yes, they were dating, I think, in real life at that time.
Yeah.
But still, you can have chemistry and not be dating in real life. The Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens surrogates in this movie have no chemistry at all.
No.
They
Well,
look
I
like they
I would
just
I
met on a
would
bus yesterday. Like it's bad.
yeah. Well, first off, it's like you can tell that on High School Musical they were also encouraged by people like Kenny Ortega to have fun as they're working on it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Whereas these guys, it's like Chris, it's like he's just trying his best. Like he does seem like he has like a performing background,
Yeah,
whereas
they were clearly parading him out as like the main guy.
Candace, it's like she couldn't. She was giving me a bit of like Courtney Cox energy.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think because they mainly gave the songs to him. I'm trying to think. There was really only one song that I can remember that didn't have him in it at all, and it's with the girl and the Ryan Sharpay
You're not
character.
the boss.
We're gonna talk. I thought they were like, are you doing "Take Me or Leave Me" from Rent? Like, what does this want to be? I'm trying to understand.
Is it I Don't Dance?
I don't know if it's trying to be that. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, at one point I thought Zach was gonna do Bet on It. I really thought because he was on a
Yeah.
roof. They keep putting this kid on a roof when he's like going through emotions. They put him on a roof, and I'm like, okay.
They
High School
also put
Musical
him in
also had
a.
roof stuff. It's fine. But
They had
like,
roof stuff.
they had roof stuff. But like they had Zachary like kicking stuff on the roof and like clearly upset, and they bumped up the music like he was gonna go into like a Bet on It or like a scream from High School Musical 3, and like nothing happened. And I was like,
No.
they just cut and then moved on. And I'm like, what? What was the point of that?
Also, they make him feel himself in a public restroom.
Yes, they did have him breakdancing in the bathroom also, which
Yeah.
was a scene that went nowhere. I thought someone was going to walk in and like they were going to have a conversation. No, he just starts breakdancing in the bathroom because
If
he
they
can do
had
that.
if they had any sense of humor, they would have had him like do that pull up on the bar or the
And then
stall.
it breaks.
Or it breaks, or he finds another person using it.
That
Dude!
would be funny. Oh
What
my
the
god.
fuck?
It's so, yeah, I don't know. It definitely seems like they just wanted to give him excuses to do stuff because they're like, this is our moneymaker. This is the guy that's gonna make this really feel like a musical.
Yeah. A
But
musical picture.
oh yeah, a family musical picture. So we learn a little bit more about Zachary, which also just like I can't get over they named him Zachary. It's so stupid. Anyway,
I mean,
his
what else did you prefer? Like Uriah,
no,
Ezekiel?
I'm just saying it's so obvious. Like, oh, Zac Efron, Zachary. Like, okay,
Oh, okay, yeah, I
that's
get
what
it.
I assumed.
Okay.
Because as soon as the girl came on stage, I'm like, oh, it's Vanessa.
Yeah.
But we learn more about Zach's family. His mom just got fired, I assume as a nurse because she's wearing scrubs, but yet she got fired and is still wearing scrubs at the dinner table. It's fine. It doesn't matter. And then the dad's in the military and he's deployed. He was supposed to come home at some point and then they extended his tour, so the kid was upset about that. And he's got a little brother who's pointless. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
While you're trying to think, I have to do an autocorrect. When I said Courtney Cox, I meant Megan Fox.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I was
Yeah.
like, I just had a stroke for a minute. I'm sorry.
Megan Fox makes more sense.
Yes.
So we find out the mom got fired, and because of that, the family has to move like 40 minutes away to the other side of town to live with their aunt. Yeah, we have to move. And then his best friend, I think her name's Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she is also in the choir.
Yeah, Crystal Connor. Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if they were doing like a love triangle thing with them. I guess they were, because if they're making her like the Sharpay surrogate, I guess it is, but it was unclear. But she's pissed that her friend is moving. She's mad at him, and I'm like, you guys are children. He doesn't want to leave. Like he's I don't understand why you're mad at him. And she's like, if you really, they sing obviously to each other and they're mad. She's like, if you really wanted to stay, you could. And it's like, no, I can't. I'm a child. Where am I gonna sleep? I have to go with my mom. Like, what are you
But
talking about?
but here's the thing. The main comment I had with all these like confrontation scenes was like, you're a grown woman. Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Like, they're all teenagers, I guess, but I'm like, shut the fuck up. Pay your bills.
Shut up and pay your bills.
Yes.
Oh God, but yeah. So Zach ends up having to now go to the other school, like I guess the quote unquote rich school, for lack of a better term, Savannah School,
Yeah.
and Bubba's laying down. I was like, what is she doing over there? So yeah, so he's going to the same school as Savannah now. Their team is called the Cougars as opposed to the Wildcats, which I clocked and I was like, okay.
Mm.
Also at one point it was funny like how they were so randomly at random times trying to connect it to High School Musical. There was one point where they're at the school and they just have like a flash for like a couple seconds of some kids playing basketball
Yeah.
for no reason, and I'm like, get your head in the game. Scott was like laughing at me. I'm like, see, it's basketball.
I called it. I knew you'd say that without me around.
Yeah, well, you know. Oh man. So okay, so now can we talk about the Ryan slash Sharpay
Yes.
gay coded ass character in this
Yeah.
movie? It confused me because okay, High School Musical, Ryan is obviously gay coded, and
Uh-huh.
I've talked about it on my show.
We've talked about it together.
Yes, obviously gay coded, and by 2008, I feel like it was well known that that was the case. Like I'm pretty sure Lucas Grabeel in the third movie was like, "Can I just come out already? Like, it's
Yeah.
so obvious. Let's make it happen." And obviously it didn't, which is annoying. But it's weird that in the Jesus movie, they would have a very clear, like they. It's so obvious he's gay coded. It's weird that in the Jesus movie they would have this character be like that. And I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna play it like he's like the villain, so he's like, you know what I mean? Like it's bad because he's the villain, but like they don't really play up his villainousness very much. He's just kind of like how Ryan and Sharpay are in High School Musical. They're like kind of bratty, and then
He was
eventually they come around and they're okay at the
he
end.
he was villainous in like a watered down reality TV kind of way.
Yes, for sure. You could
Yeah.
see him doing a Housewives tagline for sure.
She's like, "Don't be a fucking bitch and head over to my choir." Got it?
Oh, also, yeah, he accuses Zachary of being a spy, which why first of all, I have to go to school here, so
Yeah.
how does that make me a spy? First of
Oh
all,
my god,
second
why
of
are you
all,
so obsessed with me?
yeah, like it's so but then secondly, okay, so the Zachary is like doing bad in Bible study because oh no, it's Sunday School Musical. So the kid's doing bad in Bible study and he doesn't do his assignment so the teacher gives him detention. And what the fuck is this kid's name? I don't even know. Miles. That's the kid. That's the Ryan Sharpay character guy.
Yeah.
He goes like, "Oh, well, he should go in the choir room and clean the chalkboards or whatever in the choir room." And it's like, why, if you think he's a spy, do you want him in the choir room while
What?
y'all are rehearsing? Like, I thought I didn't understand. I was like, oh, is he actually like secretly wanting him to join the choir and make it better? But then in the next scene, he's like, no, fuck him, he's a spy. It's like, you let him go in the room and now he likes everybody and everybody wants him in the choir.
I'll tell you why he makes that call. It's because he is the first gay AI robot to be included in a low budget feature film.
It's so bizarre. Didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the obnoxiousness with the gay codedness is really it was weird to me.
Plus, didn't this feel like it had like Glee energy?
Oh my god, that's literally what Scott said. Scott said, "Is are we in Glee? What is this?" And then he does a presentation on the Last Supper because Jesus. It's like what?
No, not just
But
that.
his
It's
but
the
his but
painting.
his
The painting by Leonardo da
Da
Vinci.
Vinci. And then of course the oak tag that he presented it on is pink because don't forget he's gay, but no, because Jesus, so he's not gay. He's repressing it.
He makes
It's
room for
fine.
Jesus.
It's so weird. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Why? Mm.
Um, but yeah, then we have another sad song with Zach on the roof because he finds out his dad's being deployed longer, and the lead up to it I thought was you ever heard the song by Selena, "Dreaming of You"? That's what it sounded like, and I was like, oh, are we about to get a Selena bop right now? I was very confused, but it was bad. And then okay, we have to talk about so um when you came on our show and we
Mm-hmm.
talked about Smart House. I don't know if it made it into the episode, but you warned us about or warned me, I should say, about this movie by talking about a scene where
Yes, you
the
cut
main
that out.
girl and the dad discuss something about bubblegum.
It's a coping mechanism that her mother used to use.
I really wasn't ready.
I know.
I really wasn't ready for it. Can
I
you
knew you weren't.
can you explain this and then I'll explain why it's disgusting?
I felt so gross. Okay.
It's
So,
disgusting.
literally, the scene starts after You're Not the Boss, I think. And she's just in her room doing laundry. And she gets mad at her dad because one of her shirts came out small in the dryer.
Oh yeah, that's the part where like she had this. Yeah, that was another scene. But like, yeah, they gave her way too much emotionality. They're like, she's got a dead mom, and she's frustrated with her
Oh,
preacher dad.
oh, those were two different scenes?
They were two different scenes, but we can
Oh,
talk about
fuck.
both. I don't care.
Okay, great, great. This is gonna be all wacky
But
doodles.
yeah, they make this girl cry and like whine and shit, and like we're supposed to feel bad, but like you're just whining and you're annoying and you're crying, and it's
Dad,
too much
get out
for
of my
her.
room! Dad, get out of my room!
It's too much for her. I was like, oh no, they should not have done this to you. They should not have made you try to act this.
Okay,
It's too
okay.
much.
But what actually happened, what Frankie
But
is
the
talking
dad, we have
about
to talk
right
about the
now.
dad so bad.
So
Like, it's so
he
terrible.
So what happens is she's doing biology homework?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And he comes in and he tries to help her out by answering some questions and shit. And then she's like, doesn't she say something about like, oh, I want to know what my mother would do in a stressful
Yeah,
situation
something
or
like that. Or
something.
they're studying, and the dad's like, "Well, what your mother would do." It's like, first of all, I'm not doing injustice. He has like, we were trying to figure it out. He looks like an off-brand like soap opera actor. Like he's very chiseled. This
Mm-hmm.
dad, he's you could cut a steak with that man's jaw, and
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
could.
oh, and he's got like this. He's got which I'm like, why does this give me the ick? Because all he's doing is like relaying a story about the girl's mom. So like, why is this giving me so much ick? It's yes, it's partly the diet fucking soap opera actor thing, but also he's got like a porno voice.
He
Like he's
does.
constantly he's like whispering like huskily to his
You want
daughter,
you want to know what
talking about bubblegum, and it's like, ew, I don't want
girl, girl, the vibe was literally like your mother would always get down on her knees, look up at me like a good and chew that bubble gum like a good girl and like
don't like it. I
I
don't
don't
like it.
like it.
Don't want it.
I
It's
don't want
very
it.
uncomfy.
Yeah, it is.
I I just didn't, and like the story itself is dumb.
Yeah, it is very dumb.
So that doesn't help. The story is apparently like, oh, when your mother was going through something, she would pray and like do a put bubble gum in her mouth and blow a bubble and be like, oh, with this bubble, let it erase all my troubles or some bullshit like that. And it's so dumb. So the porno voice, the porno voice doesn't help. They never come off when you see them on screen together like they're father and daughter.
Nope.
He comes off like a creepy pastor who wants to get in the panties.
Yeah.
And like also like, oh my god, it's just very it's apropos for a Sunday school musical movie. But yeah, I was not okay with it. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
I told you.
Ugh, it gave me the ick. I was literally screaming at the TV. I'm like, what is this?
Is this Sunday school musical after dark?
Like literally though, it was creepy. Okay.
Oh my god.
And then like Zachary and Savannah are bonding in school, and they're in home ec class together, which, oh, of course, because it's just very Christian of them to bond in home economics. and then they're making fortune cookies in home ec, which is like, never a day in my life have I heard of such a thing. Why? They're making fortune cookies. They're like writing out little fortunes, and then they're making fortune cookies, which
Well,
I've never.
the part where you lost me was like I didn't know that's what they were doing in a home economics class.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a home
Okay.
ec class, and they're baking together, and it's like they're arguing, but it's supposed to be like cute arguing, like flirty. It's not that. It's just annoying. It's like, and it's clear that the director, whoever this director was, I know it was a woman, so I don't want to shade her, but like, fuck off. She told them to clearly like improv. It's very clear because
Yeah.
they don't know how to improv, so they're just saying like random shit, and he's like flicking baking soda off the it's like, what are you doing, sir?
Yeah, she's over there being like, The sum of the square root of the two sides of an hypotenuse triangle is equal due to the square root of the remaining side.
I have to go. I have to leave. It's very uncomfy. And then, okay, we talked about the spy thing. Breakdancing in the bathroom, we also talked about. So he eventually joins the choir because, despite the fact that Miles thinks he's a spy, he's in the room all the time, so everybody likes him and realizes he can sing. So he makes all these dorky white people dance around
For his
and
enjoyment.
The tall, lanky guy who's like, I guess Chad. He is also in the choir, which isn't very Chad, but he plays a harmonica, which is very Chad.
Yeah.
Like Chad, if Corbin Blue could have played the harmonica, they would have had him in there playing the harmonica for no reason. It's very Chad.
Uh...
Oh, and then Savannah and Miles do their "Take Me or Leave Me" song. I'm the boss, or you're not the boss, or something like that, and it's
Yeah.
shitty.
I fucking hate these lyrics because anytime that you most of the time, if you refer to a character by name in a song and you like share the exposition, it's probably not a good lyric.
Yes, that's also yes.
And they were like, well, just like, give Zachary a break. I know he's good for the team. And I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
stop.
And then also there's one point where Zach and Savannah are flirting, and he's like, I like laughed so loud. He does a thing where he's like, "Oh, you're like the cool girl. You got everything. You're the pastor's daughter,
Yeah.
and you're top of the class, and you're in all the clubs. What could possibly be wrong with your life?" And then she sits down and is like, "Actually, my mom died a few months ago." And it's like, what do you say to that, first of all? But also, like, it was so, I'm like, we're really trying to make this like an emotional, like, oh, feel bad for these kids.
Why?
And it's like, please, what happened? Why didn't you make it like High School Musical, actually, where the parents, for the most part, don't exist? Like, the only parent we fucking see, really, is Zach's dad, because he's the coach.
And Gabriella's mom.
Right, but she's there to show up once in a while with a fucking minivan and like get her out of the scene.
Yeah,
like,
she's sleeping
she
in
doesn't have a plot.
She's sleeping in the servants' quarters when Zach makes it back to Harvard and stays in her apartment.
Oh my god.
She's like, I do anything for Gabriella.
It's so strange. And then like when Zachary joins the choir, all his old friends are pissed. But it's also confusing because it's like, well, he's here. He like took a bus or whatever to get there and see you guys. And clearly like the choir isn't associated with a school over there because they're shutting down the church. So like he could have still been in the choir. Could he not have just like taken a bus for rehearsals and stuff? Like, I don't know. It's a stupid fucking little thing. But
we'll blame it on the recession.
Sure.
He couldn't afford it.
Sure. So they're all pissed at him because he's in the choir now. And the church with the shitty, or no, the church with the good choir, but in a shitty neighborhood, shuts down. So then, so the rich white kids and Zach all decide, like, hey, we're gonna have the other choir join our choir and compete with us, and join forces and sing for the Lord. Okay, cool. And like Andrea is annoyed. She's very Sharpay about it and is like, I'm above all these peons. And they have a rehearsal together and she's singing too loud or whatever. And nobody's getting along.
They literally can't handle the basic scale exercises.
No. And it's like, and then Zach comes in and I thought, I started singing "We're Gonna Work This Out" from High School Musical 2 because I'm like, this is gonna be the song.
But no, it's like a sultry R&B kind of thing.
Yeah, they're just I don't even know the song, but it's a
I
whatever. It's
can't
like a boring
think
song.
it on my
It's
own,
yeah,
but
but I'm
I know.
better with you. Something like that. And it's like, oh yay, we're all friends now and we love Jesus. So we're
But
gonna sing together.
that was the most awkward choreography. Like they
Oh
only had
yeah.
like the last half chorus
They
down
were
where
on like
everybody
the
was doing shit.
risers.
But
Like,
but they were
if you were
doing
ever
all
in
the
high
like
school choir, you know what the risers are. They're sitting on the risers and just like, yeah, just like swaying and clapping together. It was bad. It was rough, honey.
But then there were some people that were just like doing random twirls, or they were doing
Yeah.
the freaking
They're spinning each other and yeah, they were doing like the neck and yeah.
yeah.
And like also this is because Zach like pulls Andrea aside and is like, "Hey, remember when we sang together? How amazing and magical it was?" And I was like, "Okay, so now we're doing like the love triangle thing." Because
Are we?
fucking Savannah's sitting over there on the side, and I'm like, "Is she jealous? Like, I don't know what's happening." Because nothing's happening, mind you, with this romance. Nothing's happening at all. Um, but like, is the movie trying to tell us something's happening? I don't know. But
Does the movie know what it's doing?
no, clearly. But so the kids work together and they get a routine together and they go to states competition. And you can tell it's states competition because they put a fucking like static shot, excuse me, of a fucking building that's like a church or a funeral home. I don't know. And they who could say? And it's just like an aerial text on the bot states competition. And it's like, okay, well now we know where we are, thank God. So they have
It's not
these judges
Albuquerque, I'll tell you
there.
that much.
The middle judge yeah, the middle judge at the competition looks like the host of Cheaters. I don't know, you probably haven't seen that show. But
No.
it's like the most it's like a white guy with salt and pepper hair and a square head and it's funny. Like, it's just it's good shit. But there's this other choir there that's like super good and has won the last like 100 years. It's like vocal adrenaline but with choir music. And this whole sequence is basically just Sister Act 2 because
Mhm.
the really, really good choir goes on and they do really good. Question, they're fine, but we're supposed to think they did really good.
No, we think they're doing really good, but there's also this one girl that the camera focuses on because I'm sure the cinematographer was like, "Oh, she fine," and being kind of a creep.
Or like her uncle.
Yeah, but then she's like just doing like the swaying back and forth, and she doesn't fully know what she's supposed to do, and I'm like, this feels like
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even feel like a movie anymore.
no.
It feels like we're just watching like someone's home video of like this competition.
Yeah.
But I mean, who cares? So they're doing this. Okay, another treat. So they're doing this competition, and there's this one guy in this really quote unquote really great choir that's won for the last 100 years or whatever. And he goes over to the judge and he's very obviously pointing at our group, our kids. And we're like, what the fuck is his problem? And apparently he like called them out and was like, "Oh, you have two choirs combined together. That's against the rules." And it's like, "But
Yeah.
why? First of all, like, what's their church shut down? So like, it's not like they're not supposed to be here. Like they are. They're just their church shut down. So what difference does it make? Whatever." But also we have a scene where they they cut out all the sound and like do this weird thing where they're trying to show that Savannah's having like an anxiety attack, which was really
Yeah.
embarrassing. It
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, sweetie, this is terrible." But then she goes outside and she does the bubblegum thing, which is so it's just so weird. Why is this so inherently weird and strange? Maybe because they had the creepy husky dad voice in her head telling her to blow the bubble, and it's like I have to go away now. I'm
Well,
really
plus I'm just like,
nauseous.
is the director of this movie a lesbian?
I don't. Well, who could say?
Who could
But if
say?
she's living for the Lord, she's keeping it under wraps. If she
If
is.
she's letting this movie be distributed by Family Central instead of the Asylum, uh, I don't know what's going on.
Anyway, so
I'm not
God,
on it today. I'm sorry, guys.
no, I'm not on it either. To be honest with you, it's like ugh, this movie is weird. By this point, I had to have Scott do a time check because it felt like we were sitting there for 2 hours, and we still had like 25 minutes left. And I'm like, what could you possibly do in 25 minutes? Like, let's end this, please. So the plan is they were going to win this competition and give all the money to the poor church so the church can open back up. And they're like, oh, well, you can't compete because you combined two choirs. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Whatever.
So they go up to the judges and they make an appeal. You know, they fucking throw Bible verses at them and shit. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't care.
Enough with your proverbs.
Yeah, and they did a Zacharias one, which I was like, is that supposed to be like, oh, because Zach? I don't know. I don't care.
Oh
at
my
this point,
God.
I'm checked out. I'm like, please make it stop.
The bad part is I think I believe you, and it's so fucking annoying.
It really is annoying. Oh my God. So again, this is basically fucking Sister Act 2. So they had the really good choir go, and then in Sister Act 2 they all got scared because the choir was really good, so they're like, we're not going on stage. In this one, the choir fucking ratted them out, and they're like, well, we can't compete. But then they go out there, right, and they do their shit, and this Andrea girl is trying to be Lauryn Hill, and it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Because they do, like, half of the fucking number is just Andrea and Zach singing. And Zach at least is on key. This girl, she. And then they have her do, like, the big end note, too. And it's
Needs
like, no, honey, no.
me.
No. And they do Eye on the Sparrow, which is like, I was like, that's from fucking Sister Act 2. Lauryn Hill sang that. And it's like, you can't do that. It's, no.
What are you gonna do? Sue us?
You can't. You can't, like, if you're doing like a Jesus-y musical movie and you have, like, it's about kids in a fucking religious school or whatever, like, people are gonna make that comparison. Like, you can't do that. That's crazy.
At least you could have picked one of the good ones. Been like, I love him, I love him, I love him, and where he goes, I'll follow, I'll follow,
I will
I'll
follow
follow.
him. It's so bad. And then so they do like a happy fucking like dancey fucking version of this stupid song. And it's not a stupid song, it's just their version of it is stupid. And they do flips and shit. And then
Where did all that come from?
I don't know. Scott was like, who is that? Is that the Chad guy? I'm like, I don't know who did the flip. I'm like, she just comes out of nowhere and does a flip. And I'm like, why?
But then you have the four girls doing the elaborate pirouettes.
Like
and
the fucking like flyers in the back doing spins and shit. I'm like, I have to go. This is so ridiculous.
We're gonna do this in a funeral home?
It really did look like a funeral home. But then you pan up and there's pews and stuff. I'm like, okay, I guess we're in a church, but like either way, it's just bad. Anyway, so we do the big power note at the end, which was not a power note at all. It was just like a fucking wet fart. And then they don't win. Which I feel like they were trying to do something there too, like, oh, well, they don't win, they don't have to win, because it's not about winning, it's about singing for the Lord and performing, and it's like, fuck off. I think they were trying to do a Glee thing in there, and it's like, fuck you. So they don't win. The fucking like big fancy fucking choir wins, and the guy who ratted them out gets up there, is like, we just want to give our award and the title to Crossroads or whatever their fucking thing is called. And in my head I'm like, but we'll keep the money. We'll get the title, but we're gonna keep the money. It was so dumb. And then the movie ends, the dad comes in, Zachary's dad comes in while they're performing, and it's supposed to be like emotional. The thing is too, with Zachary, like, they give him emotional moments too. Like, there's one point where like he always has these glassy eyes, like he's about to cry, but never a tear is shed. Never a tear. But yeah, I mean, God, they just are really trying so hard and failing so much. But the dad comes in, hallelujah, and all that shit. And if you had asked me in the beginning of this movie if Zachary and Savannah were going to kiss, I would have said no, because even in the original High School Musical, they didn't kiss. So I was like, there's no way they're going to have them kiss in this movie. It's fucking Jesus-y. We got to leave room for the Lord, you know? But yeah, at the end, they have like the most awkward kiss that like you would give like your cousin at a family reunion. And it
It's
was just
very
so
chaste.
awkward. It was weird. I was like, why even do that? And then the movie ends. And again, there's not that many songs in this fucking musical, and the ones that are there, like I couldn't name one for you. I couldn't
Hi-
sing a note of any of, except the ones that already exist.
The High School Musical soundtrack is Target. This is Kmart.
Oh my god, yeah. Like again, say what you want about High School Musical, like it's cheesy as fuck and it's dopey and like whatever. But like there's a reason that people like myself and Wyatt are like obsessed with it and like will go to bat for it, because the songs are dope. And it's, I mean, it's nostalgic for sure, but you
Yeah,
can't deny that the songs are fire.
yeah. And plus, I just want to go on record of saying that, like, when we did the first High School Musical for the podcast, I recorded that, and like that was during my first bent of like podcast burnout, so I wasn't in the great mood to like talk about how good it was and stuff. Um, but look, this kind of shit makes me appreciate at least the first one so much more than I did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing is, the third movie that took 41 days to shoot. Like that was the only bit of info that I looked up in preparation for this, and I can only imagine this took like 3 days.
Oh, yeah. I would say this took like a week. Not yeah. Because what do you do? Like, I mean, obviously they recorded like the tracks or whatever, but yeah, to film the actual movie, like a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it makes you appreciate the actual trilogy, even the third one, which isn't my favorite. I don't think it's anybody's favorite, but at least it was trying. This trying? Is this trying? I don't think it's trying anything.
No.
Because not for nothing, I thought there was going to be a lot more Jesus-y stuff in it too. Like I thought it was going to be
Hmm.
like obnoxious. Like every song was going to be about Jesus and the Lord and shit. And like, yeah, they dropped God's name a couple times.
You thought You're Not the Boss was going to be about Jesus.
I really thought. I mean, listen, I really
Who
thought
do
like,
you think you are? You're not the
and
boss.
it's just God. I'm literally God. Like, what do you mean? But yeah, I mean, they definitely tried to have like Troy Bolton surrogate, Gabriella surrogate, Sharpay surrogate, Ryan surrogate, and like none of them live up, obviously, and the songs don't live up, the romance doesn't live up, and not even like the so bad it's goodness lives up. Like you can't. Like you can laugh at this. For the first like 10 minutes, I was laughing my ass off, and then like the novelty of it wore off, and I'm like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
ready to go.
You're
I got it.
it wore off as soon as you knew you came to the conclusion that these guys were like, oh, they thought they were making a good movie.
Like, oh, they really think they're doing something. Yeah, once you
Yeah.
introduce like the military dad and the dead mom, you're like, oh, you're really trying to like do something here. Like,
It's
you're
not
trying to
working.
make. Are you trying to like make a comment against High School Musical? It's like, oh well, High School Musical is just like stupid, bullshit. But like, this is a real movie with real kids and real problems, and it's like, fuck off. Like, what do you mean?
We didn't ask for this.
No one asked for this. No one. It's oh god.
I didn't need to be reminded about my dad returning home from Afghanistan.
I need to be reminded about my shrunken shirt and my weird porno dad and my dead mom. Like it's just so. That scene though was worth watching it. That scene alone, the dad and the bubblegum, like that made the whole experience worth it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like screaming, like, why do I feel icky? Make it stop. It's so
Wait,
bad.
is it gonna be bad if I get closer to the mic? With this bubble,
Ugh.
my trouble.
Ew, ew. Dude,
But
like,
but we did forget the other scene. We did forget the other one where she's doing the laundry, and she gets on his ass because she didn't get her shirt through the dryer correctly.
right. She just sounds like a brat. And then he's like, I know you miss your mother. I know I miss your mother. And it's like, all right.
And also,
She
I'm not
starts
a.
crying, and it's like,
She's like,
sweetie,
he literally has to say, I'm not like a folding or a washer expert.
I'm not a laundrette. I'm like, huh?
What?
I'm not a lot. He said something like lawn. I couldn't tell if he said laundress or laundrette. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
I thought it was
And
something
then
expert.
it was so I could. That's the thing too. I couldn't understand what, like, sometimes what they were even saying, but it's fine. It's just bad. It's
But
so
she's
bad.
my mom.
Oh right, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You didn't lose your mom, and it's like, okay, that's a valid statement, but when you're saying it in bad actress, it's not really. I'm not really getting it.
I lost my wife.
Fucking diet Timothy Oliphant over there telling me that he's not a fucking launderer. I just, oh god, telling me about anagrams and shit. I'm like, can you please stop talking to me? It was creepy, for
Oh
sure.
my god.
I wouldn't be surprised though if the dad was like on As the World Turns or something at some time. Like, he comes off like
Yeah.
a fucking soap actor.
Yeah.
For
Or if he was
sure.
on Backdoor Nurses 9.
Ugh. It's just fucking foul. And it's like in another scene, in like if you're talking to your girlfriend and using that tone of voice, no one would bat an eye. But you're in the daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to fuck me. Stop it. It's so creepy. But yeah, I would say to anyone that is intrigued by this conversation, I would watch the movie and just like skip around. Like, if you watch stuff and you laugh and then you start getting bored, just skip around and like
I'll
fast
let you
forward.
guys know it's around the 27-minute mark.
Hmm.
That's what you
Like, the
really need to
first
see.
scene with the choirs performing is really funny because it's so awkward and so like obnoxious bad movie. It's like normal bad movie fare. And then it kind of gets boring for a little bit. And then we talk about the military dad and the dead mom, and it's like, oh, too much. And then you move on to like other funny things.
Yeah.
But
Funny.
funny, not haha funny. Funny like, like, this is embarrassing funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess I could raise Scott's question that we had on Smart House. Like, do you think you would have any more fun getting drunk while watching this?
Well, Scott did a little bit, and
Oh, he did?
yeah, he hung in for a little bit. I didn't, but he did. He had a couple drinks. But he hung in till the end. He didn't leave. I was surprised. I was like, I thought he was gonna like fucking give up at some point and fuck off, but he didn't. He hung in there. So yeah, I mean, it's enough to laugh at. But sober, I mean,
It's really
it,
hard.
yeah, alcohol would be helpful. I think perhaps a drinking game.
Drink responsibly, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Drink responsibly. Yes, of course. Get some kind of bubblegum flavored liquor and just have yourself a time.
Oh
All
man,
right, after this, we gotta watch a good movie together.
we do. But we have to ask my final question, and I think this might be the funniest one to
Oh
answer for.
God,
How do you think Sunday School Musical influenced the way the Walt Disney Studios produces films to this day?
not at all, because it's not made by Disney. But I mean,
Well, no, but obviously.
no, but I get what you're saying. I mean, Disney has made many a product that others want to emulate and don't always live up to. So I mean, it makes sense. It happens.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. So I mean, this won't be the last, mockbuster we have that tries to emulate or capitalize off of something Disney made a shit ton of money on.
Oh no.
But it's interesting. It's fascinating to watch it because you're like, oh wow, all these people got together and made this.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And there's like no information about it anywhere, which is even more bizarre. Like I feel like the people that made this want to erase it from
They were
existence.
put into witness
Cuz you can even
protection like
look up
right afterwards.
I mean, you can look up like other asylum films on the internet, and they all have Wikipedia. It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. I was like gonna, spit some fun facts, but I had none other than it was released 3 days before High School Musical 3. That was the only fun fact I had. And the same studio that made Sharknado made this movie. So that should tell you
Yeah.
everything you need to know.
Is that the one where they spliced the shark in half in the middle of the city?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. I've only seen the first one,
I've only seen
but
that moment, so yeah.
that's enough. You don't need to see
Yeah.
anything else.
Okay,
That's
great.
pretty much the gist. That's the whole fucking movie, basically.
All right. Well, I think the Walt Disney Studios by that time had already cornered the animation market. They'd cornered the theme park market. They'd covered the live action film market. This movie shows that they had a fucking stranglehold on TV.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had anything like this in your face, like any kind of mockbuster on this level for any of their other shows. Like
No,
nothing,
not
nothing
for
for
their
Hannah
shows.
Montana, not for
No,
Wizards of Waverly
no,
Place,
no.
nothing. So.
No, I mean you could argue that like, other animation studios tried to like emulate what Disney was doing like with its animated stuff and like I mean to this day people confuse Anastasia and think it's a Disney movie.
I mean, it kind of is now, but
I mean, well now, but like even back that like it's the most Disney of the fucking like
yeah.
Don Bluth movies.
And
Um
Thumbelina.
Yeah, Thumbelina too, but Anastasia was like wildly successful because it was like a Disney princess, but not really. So,
We want to take you back to the days of the Russian Revolution.
yeah, nothing untoward happened during that time at all.
They were like, of all the Disney princess movies, the one we really want to remake is Pocahontas.
Oh my god.
But in Russia.
In Mother Russia. But yeah, I mean with its TV for sure. I mean Disney Channel definitely built its own brand. And like Disney in general has built its own brand, but Disney Channel is definitely a different beast.
Yeah, for sure. Like, actually, the only prep I did other than the movie was I watched a bunch of those, like, Disney 365 clips. You remember those?
Oh god, yeah.
And in
Uh-huh.
every single one of them, you could tell that they don't want to be involved in it.
Oh my god.
Like, I watched one with Ross Lynch. They were doing a Disney Parks Christmas Day parade one year, and
Mhm.
they were asking like, "What's your favorite memory about the Disneyland resort or whatever?" And he was just like, "Well,
Leaving.
no, no,
Leaving the
you're not."
episode.
You're not too far off. He was like, "Well, I think just being here today, like being here with the family and being on the float and stuff. I was like, that's pretty cool." And it's like, yeah, you got nothing else, do you?
Nothing else.
Nothing else. We
Nope.
don't we don't spend our time at Disneyland. We spend our time on the Santa Monica Pier
Mhm.
having real fun.
Mm.
Debatably.
Oh man.
My
I mean,
God.
I wonder what the actors really thought was going to come of this. Like, did they think they were going to blow up like fucking High School Musical people did?
Surely not.
I would assume not,
Like,
right?
I feel like Candace was like
Maybe
really phoning it
fucking
in.
the Zach kid thought that because he
Yeah,
was actually like, I mean, it was basically his movie.
pretty much.
Oh my god. I understand. You hate Sunday School Musical too. I get it. But no one can understand dog. She also watched it with us because she was in the room and she was just, she kept trying to get on the couch and like was clawing, like, please turn it off. Turn this shit off.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
Well.
Well,
I
the moral of the story, kids, brackets is if you want to make a musical, you have to try. You have to put effort in.
I never thought I would hear something like that on this podcast, but yeah, truer words were never spoken.
This is what I come here for. Drop some knowledge.
Oh my god. This makes all those talkies from the 20s look like high art. Like fucking Broadway Melody looks like Schindler's List or something compared to this.
God, Broadway Melody.
Oh my god. But I guess that concludes this chapter on Disney Reel to Reel.
Other lesson, just watch High School Musical. If you even get an inkling to watch this, I know I said it was worth it for the like weird yucks, but like you gotta like really assess. Like, do you want to watch this or do you want to just watch High School Musical? Because in that case, just turn it on. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just watch High School Musical.
Do you want to listen to What I've Been Looking For or whatever the fuck this song was about doing something and it's better with you or something?
Yeah. Do you want to watch a bunch of fucking children sing His Eyes on the Sparrow for 10 minutes? Like, just watch Sister Act 2 and watch Lauryn Hill sing it. It's better.
And also, if you want to watch Megan Fox be Christian, watch this movie.
If you want to watch, just watch Jennifer's Body then.
Yeah! Oh, that's got like that sick Panic at the Disco song in the end credits.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I haven't seen
love
that in a long time.
Yeah. Also, Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop there and let me correct it. I want to live the life from a new perspective. Love it. All right. All right. So now I give you the floor to plug the hell out of your show because I would like people to find you guys.
Thank you. So me and my husband Scott, we introduce each other to different movies, mostly on a weekly basis. Once in a while, we'll take a little break just to regain our sanity. But we are Shoot the Flick, and we are on Instagram and Twitter at Shoot the Flick, and we post new episodes on Wednesdays. What do we have coming out right now? We're actually in a week off right now as we're recording this. So in July, we got some good stuff coming because Deadpool and Wolverine's coming out soon. So I'm going to watch the 2000 X-Men movie for the first time. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I'm excited. New stuff to come over the summer. So, and also listen to our Smart House episode with Wyatt because that was a shit show. But
I was
hilarious.
I was gonna say the exact same thing, but only that it's way better than this episode, I'm sure. Because this movie just didn't give us anything.
It gave us like a couple of moments. If all of the well, not all, we can't have an embarrassment of riches, but if most of the scenes were of the so bad it's good caliber of the bubblegum scene, we would have been sitting pretty. We would have been talking about this for like 3 hours.
If this was more like Vampires Suck.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, but no.
Yeah, if it was like a real parody of High School Musical, that would be fun.
Imagine. What could have been?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But we got that. We got Sunday School Musical instead.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. They all can't be Smart House. And I also covered all 3 High School Musicals on my show, so
yes.
And I forced my husband to watch them with me, so that's feel free to listen to that because Scotty, my poor husband Scotty, has been forced to watch shitty DComs with me from the dawn of time. So that's fun.
From Zac Efron to Ryan Merriman.
Oh yeah, baby.
All right. Well, if you're interested in checking out my little project, we've got Diz Reel to Reel podcast on Instagram. Any emails can be sent to disneyreeltoreel@gmail.com. And yeah, I guess until next time, We'll see you again at the congregation of Disney Reel to Reel. Bless our heavenly mouse.
Not the congregation.
I'll get you free access to the Disney Vacation Club.
Oh boy. Jesus.
I'm thinking about him speaking the lines of the fucking Sparrow song.
I can't do it. I'm gonna try.
I sing because I'm happy.
I sing because I'm free. Oh no.
You're not the boss.
No. Do the wait, what does he say? I'm trying to think of the bubblegum line.
Oh, I got you.
I can't. It's too much. It's too far.
With this bubble, throw away my trouble.
Ugh. That would have been preferable to the dad's voice. Christ.
Okay, now I'm a fucking mess.
We got there.
All right. Have a magical day, everybody.